News at Ryder. Your anchors, Drew Novelli and Rakia Henderson. Rob Giorgio with Ryder Sports. Emily Siegel with Entertainment. And Megan Botticheller with Weather.
Hello and welcome to News at Ryder. I'm Rakia Henderson.
And I'm Drew Novelli. And now, the top stories of the week. Students in the Department of Communication were honored recently for their academic achievements. Lambda Pi Eta, the Communication Honor Society, held its inductions at the Fireside Lounge. Here's Rob Giorgio with the story.
Hi, I'm Rob Giorgio here at the Fireside Lounge, where the Communications Honor Society Lambda Pi Eta inductions are just wrapping up. Students, along with their parents, joined faculty members of the Department of Communication to honor the induction of Lambda Pi Eta members who have achieved academic excellence. Dean Nadeau of the School of Liberal Arts, Science and Education views the induction as another opportunity for good students to excel here at Ryder.
I think that Lambda Pi Eta, both for the members and the associates, is really a unique idea. It recognizes some students that have done some wonderful things here. They've done internships, they've done well in classes, and they've been equipped to go into the future. So I think it's a tremendous program and tremendous opportunities for students and faculty support as well.
Keynote speaker Barbara Boyer, a journalist at the Philadelphia Inquirer and a 1986 graduate of Ryder University, had some advice for the students.
Is to remember to pursue with passion what you truly love to do.
Certificates were given to each new member during a candle lighting ceremony. Refreshments were served after the inductions, as parents and faculty enjoyed a rare opportunity to speak together. Many parents expressed how pleased they were with Ryder, the inductions, and most of all, with their children.
But I am really extremely proud of her. She works very hard and, works hard outside of school and in school also. And next year, of course, we're going to be crying our eyes out when she graduates.
But no one was crying tonight, however, as faculty members swelled with pride.
I would say about the students in the communication department at Ryder University that they are outstanding, and I think this night shows how fantastic they really are. They're going on to great things, as many of our other students have done.
Oh, this is the cream of the crop, as good as it gets, and I'm really very proud. A couple of them are my students, I'm really very proud of them. These are the best people that we have.
New members also felt the importance of being inducted into Lambda Pi Eta.
It's just obviously something I can put on a resume, but more so than that, I guess it makes me feel like I can achieve in anything. The whole motto of this evening was to strive for excellence.
Congratulations to all the new inductees. I'm Rob Giorgio reporting for the News at Ryder.
Every first Friday of the month, feminist scholarship meetings are held on the campus sponsored by the Gender Studies program. I attended the April 5th meeting where Nydia Rivera Glockner of the Foreign Language Department made a presentation on the medieval roots of machismo in modern Spanish literature. On every first Friday of the month, women professors around Ryder's campus attend the EFS program, in which they explain to each other how they are doing in their way of research. Marilyn Quinn, Associate Professor Librarian, explains a little bit about the program.
Well, the EFS program is a wonderful program that I try to attend regularly. It happens every first Friday of the month, and it gives us members of the Gender Studies faculty a chance to talk to each other and tell each other about what we're doing in the way of research.
Dr. Judith Johnson, Director of the Gender Studies Program, explains the focus of today's session.
Today we have Dr. Nydia Rivera Glockner, who teaches Spanish in the Foreign Languages Department, and she's going to be introduced by Dr. Mary Morse of the English Department. Both of them work in medieval studies, literature and culture of the medieval era.
The group viewed several film clips of male actors in an exercise to determine what they perceived as macho. For more information on the EFS program, contact Judith Johnson at extension 5580.
Rap sensation Ludacris, rounding the college circuit, stopped at Ryder last week for what is sure to be a memorable performance. The Student Entertainment Council was hard at work as students lined up outside the gymnasium to partake in one of the biggest on-campus events of the year. There were some complaints about the gymnasium being too hot, but SEC reports the concert was a tremendous success.
International Week came to a close last Friday with a wine tasting. Students, staff, and faculty were invited to the Fireside Lounge to learn about different wines from two experts who happen to be Rider professors. Rebecca Horn has more.
Hi, this is Rebecca Horn. I'm in the Fireside Lounge for the close of International Week, where students and faculty were given an opportunity to partake in a wine tasting. The selection was wide, and the participants were eager to learn more about the different tastes and different types of wines.
Well, today we're going to have some wine, which has been chosen by Dave Keenan to sort of give students a flavor, no pun intended, of what European and South American and Australian wines are like, so that they can sort of cap off International Week and have a good time.
A small buffet was set up as Drs. Auberger of the Foreign Language Department and Dr. Callahan of the History Department shared their wealth of knowledge on the wine industry. Participants also had the opportunity to learn about the different cultures from which these wines derive.
The tasting excludes American wines, which are good wines, but since it's International Week, we move it outside, and we have wines from other parts of the world. And it increases the students' awareness that there is a world out there and that there is wine out there.
Drs. Auberger and Callahan have been hosting the International Week's wine tasting for a number of years now, and their guests seem very pleased.
Well, I've been coming to these for a couple of years. They're really interesting and informative. I like wines myself, and I really learn a lot from people who've I guess drink a lot more wine than I do. But I think it's a really informative, educational kind of program. We're not all sitting here getting sloshed. We're really learning something about it. And I don't know about everybody, but I certainly enjoy wine, and I learn a lot from coming to something like this.
According to the hosts, many people have been developing a phobia over ordering wine for fear of committing a faux pas. Dr. Callahan addresses this concern directly.
Lots of folks, when they go to a restaurant and order wine, they're a little bit nervous. They don't know anything about it. Do I order this or do I order that? Basically to say, you order what you like.
From the Fireside Lounge, I'm Rebecca Horn. Back to you in the studio.
When we return, we'll have a look at University Day, and News at Riders' Alexander Lazio attends a very controversial lecture with a very controversial philosopher.
That plus national news and weather with Megan Botchcheller when we return.
He told me that he loved me, and I believed him. And he told me nothing would happen if we had unsafe sex, and I believed him. And now he wants nothing to do with me, or my baby.
Are you a college student looking for a tropical getaway? Then escape with MTV Spring Break. Destination, beautiful, Cancun, Mexico. Sponsored by Apple Vacation. 1-800-GO-APPLE.
University Day was held at the Student Center last Thursday. The weather could not have been more agreeable as members of the Rider community gathered for the 7th annual University Day. The event included fun activities for all and culminated with a performance by Orange Crush, an 80s style band.
Local bands were invited to showcase their talents recently at Riderpalooza in the pub. The event, set up by the Resident Hall Association, included the bands Red Eye Flight, Nimbus, Push, Fat Kid Fishing, Blue Tom, and many more.
Controversial philosopher Peter Singer gave a lecture on animal rights in the Student Center Theater last week. Singer, a Princeton University professor, is a world-renowned scholar and author. Alexander Lazio has more.
Controversial bioethicist Peter Singer visited Ryder last week and spoke to a packed house in the Student Center Theater. Dr. Richard Berg of the Political Science Department introduced Singer, a professor at Princeton University. Singer's lecture, which lasted about 40 minutes, received mixed reviews from attendees.
I thought Professor Singer was a very, very good speaker. He was compelling. He kept the audience's attention. His positions on a number of different moral issues is certainly very, very controversial. I agreed with some of them, didn't agree with others, but at least he has a chance in a free society to make his points. You can boo him, you can throw him out, you can applaud him, but at least in America, everyone has an opportunity to say something. You don't have to agree with it. I'd say it was a very worthwhile experience.
Well, I think that Professor Singer is an interesting man, and some of the stuff he talked about was pretty interesting. His ideas on animal rights and how animals are treated, specifically farm animals, his cause in that area is noble. His attitude towards things like euthanasia and human rights and human worth, I should say, that some humans are worth more based on their awareness, is, I find, a little disturbing.
The question and answer session was held at the end of the lecture, where students were given the opportunity to voice their opinions. For News at Ryder, this is Alexandra Alazia reporting. Back to you in the studio.
Emily Siegel is back with this week's entertainment news. Emily?
Thanks, Drew. Guess what? They killed Kenny. On December 5th, South Park gave Kenny a terminal disease, and he died. All the characters on the show were compassionate about his death, so the creators decided it was finally time to let Kenny rest in peace. Ellen DeGeneres may be hosting a new talk show next season. If a primetime show doesn't get renewed, and it doesn't look like it's going to, then she'll be headed to the daytime end of the dial. Children in the City? Sex and the City star Sarah Jessica Parker is pregnant, and the crew at HBO is trying to decide whether they should write it into the storyline or not. Season 5 was originally set to debut in June, but it now has tentatively been pushed back to July. Who knows if the storyline will still have her character, Carrie Bradshaw, the sex columnist, still embracing life as a single. The third Austin Powers movie is set to come out on July 26th, and yes, it has been named. After weeks of discussion with the people that have the rights to the Bond movie names, New Line has been allowed to name the film Austin Powers in Goldmember. While they were waiting to find out if they could use the name, other ideas they thought of were Live and Let Shag, You Only Shag Thrice, Never Say Member Again, and Licensed to Shag. Michael Caine will play Austin's father, and Destiny's Child, Beyonce Knowles, will be added into the cast this time around. There's going to be a Mrs. Rock, a Mrs. Kid Rock, that is. Pamela Anderson's publicist announced on Friday that they were engaged the previous evening. The Outback is done. Where to next? Survivor producer Mark Burnett received approval from the Thailand government to shoot the 5th season on a tropical island 600 miles south of Bangkok. Let's just hope the spicy food doesn't get to them. This has been Emily Siegel with the entertainment for News at Ryder. And now it's time for the question of the week with Kristen McCullough. This week she's asking students who their favorite professors are and why.
Hi, this is Kristen McCullough, and I'm in Dailies with the question of the week. Who's your favorite professor and why?
Definitely Dr. Turner, because he makes learning fun. He's a man.
My favorite professor is Dr. Richard Alexander. He's in the Geological and Marine Sciences department, and he's very animated, he's very serious, and he definitely knows how to construct a class so that you're interested, you get the notes, you understand what you're doing, and you feel like you're really part of something.
All right, thanks. Who's your favorite professor and why?
My favorite professor is Dr. McDonald because his class is always interesting and I feel like I learn a lot.
Thanks. I definitely have to say Dr. Curran, who is an education professor here at Ryder. He has definitely gone above and beyond the call of duty, and when some of my other professors are driving me crazy, he's able to hold me back and keep me from jumping over the edge, and he's a really great guy.
I guess my favorite professor here is Dr. Maynard. She's a lit professor, and she's just cool. She makes me love Shakespeare. Right on.
All right, thanks. This has been Kristen McCullough for News at Ryder.
Stay tuned. We'll see what's happening with national news, stop in with Megan Botchcheller with the weather, and have Rob Giorgio with sports. Don't go away.
Someone should take your microphone
gamble? Let's try poker. Sucker. How about some blackjack? Wow, you lost again. If you're someone who constantly gambles everything, you know what you'll be left with? Nothing. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call Gamblers Anonymous and get the help you need.
Feel the breeze. Hear the waves. See the beauty. Come visit Hawaii.
The mother of a boy who fathered 2 children with his 6th grade teacher says she did not know her 12-year-old son was having sex with his teacher. Reporter Kyle Moore has more on her emotional testimony.
And I didn't know how to tell my family. I didn't know how to tell my mom that my son had fathered a baby.
With tears in her eyes, Suna Vili testified she was embarrassed that her son, Vili Fulau, then 13 years old, had fathered a child with his former teacher, Mary Kay Letourneau.
I was ashamed.
The Fulau family is suing the Highline School District and the Des Moines Police Department for not protecting her son from Letourneau. Vili testified after police discovered the affair, she confronted the teacher for breaking her trust.
How could you? I trusted you. How in the world did this happen?
In court, Vili said her son changed after he was raped.
There was no glimmer of happiness in him. I mean, I saw this kid, and it wasn't my son.
But in previous court cases, Vili defended Letourneau and denied her son was raped. Also, the family accepted more than $150,000 for media interviews. In court, Vili testified the family made $4,000 from American Journal, $51,000 from the tabloid The Globe, $32,000 from Inside Edition, and $44,000 from the French book deal, for a total of $131,000. Money defense attorneys say may affect the jury.
If this family profited hugely from what was essentially a rape case, why should we hold the police and the school district responsible and have them pay what Vili wants? I think he said $20 million. It's just not appropriate.
Prosecutors have filed a motion asking that a 14-year-old boy accused of raping and murdering a 52-year-old Banton psychologist be tried as an adult. Raymond Perkins is accused of raping and beating to death Judith B. Ullman, who had moved to Banton, Oregon from a Portland suburb 2 years ago. Drew Mickelson has more.
Visibly upset family members arrived early for the 14-year-old's hearing.
I still love my son.
In juvenile court, Raymond Allen Perkins was informed the state of Oregon plans to charge him with the rape and murder of Judith Ullman on the Oregon coast. Perkins' mother had some comments about the accusations.
He obviously needs medical care. Come on. It doesn't stop me from loving him any time. This is family time. Right now, I understand for the family of the woman. My heart goes out to that. I will not accept what my son has done. Neither should anybody else. But he's a 14-year-old child. Come on, girl. And we love him.
Despite saying her son had done something, Perkins' mother wouldn't say if she thinks her son is guilty of murder. Neither would the defense attorney.
At this point, we're not conceding anything at all. Yeah. At this point, I don't know whether this young man is guilty of anything or whether he's not. He's a 14-year-old child. He's in a horrible position right now. And me and my defense team will be doing everything humanly possible to protect his rights and see that justice is done here.
In midst of the priest abuse scandal, Massachusetts state legislators are working on a bill to help crack down on church-related sex crimes. Janet Wu has an update on the progress of the measures.
It looks
looks like business as usual on Beacon Hill, but the lobbyist for the Archdiocese is less invisible these days. Cornering legislators in the hallways, he's worried about two bills working their way through the political maze. Unlike the House, the Senate is worried that it's taking too long.
Although I don't get to pick the cardinal, it is my role as a legislative leader to protect the public interest, and that's what we're trying to do with the passage of this bill, and we think this is a matter of great urgency.
And do you think the House is holding back a little bit too long?
I think from what I've been told by the people who are in direct negotiations with the House that they're not quite certain what the holdup is.
Every legislator is very sensitive to that issue, and for the Senate to suggest that one body is not doing what they have to do, et cetera, I think is disingenuous to the system.
Today, the Senate voted 36-0 on what it calls a compromise clergy reporting bill. The only exclusions would be information from a confessional, or in the case of other religions, confidential spiritual communications. But this is a narrower definition than what the House wants.
The House said if the religion's rules or practice prohibit it, they don't have to disclose. We felt that was a voluntary reporting system where every religion could decide according to their own rules and practice whether or not they were going to disclose, which basically gives us the status quo.
A second bill working its way through the State House would help prosecutors investigating those responsible for moving predatory priests from one parish to another. The bill, reckless endangerment, criminalizes conduct that creates substantial risk of serious bodily injury or sexual abuse. In other words, there would not have to be actual abuse, only the risk of abuse.
We have no criminal statute called reckless endangerment. We have crimes of accessory, we have crimes of conspiracy, both of which are very difficult to prove.
And now for the weather with Megan Botcheller.
Hi, this is Megan Botcheller here once again with your weekly weather forecast. It seems that the warm weather and humidity has made its debut for the season this weekend. Let's see if it'll stick around for the week ahead. Wednesday, what a nice day. The high reaches up to 86 and a low of 58 under partly cloudy skies. Thursday, scattered thunderstorms with a high of 81. Friday, still pleasant with a high of 74 and 50 for the low, mostly cloudy skies expected. Saturday, a little bit of a gloomy end to our week, 68 for the high and a low of 43 under cloudy skies. Sunday, partly cloudy skies will bring a high of 68 and a low of 39. Monday, once again the high reaches 68 and a low of 39. Tuesday, the high bumps up 1 degree to 64, expect mostly cloudy skies and hopefully some sun. Well, it looks like we're easing our way into t-shirt and sandals weather. Time to do some spring cleaning and prepare for the sun and especially the clouds for the week ahead. This is Megan Botcheller once again for Rider Weather telling you to enjoy your week. Back to you in the studio.
When we get back, Carl Lodenthal has a big hit for the Bronx baseball team. Rob Giorgio will have the story and the rest of the sports. Stay tuned.
I didn't think I had that much to drink. I thought I could drive. They didn't deserve this. Now I have to live with the hate from their families, the disappointment of my family. Worst of all, guilt for the rest of my life. If you think drunk driving only affects your life, think again. It affects everyone that's close to you. Don't drink and drive.
Maybe she's born with it.
Never was a quitter, tasted like a raindrop. She's got the look.
Get this season's hippest shades and hottest new products.
'Cause Heaven's got a number when she's spinning me around. Kissing is a color, a loving is a wild dog. She's got the look.
You know, guys, ever since Ludacris came to the school, I've been thinking I should get my rap career started.
Really?
Yeah, I even have a name planned out.
What is it?
Drudicris.
Great. Well, we're going to go to sports with Rob Giorgio.
Thanks. I don't know about the rap career, Drew, but okay. Well, it's big week for Rider baseball, so let's get right into it. On Thursday, sophomore Scott Rich collected 4 hits, 3 stolen bases, and 2 RBIs, and made a spectacular diving catch in right field to end the game, leading Rider to a victory over Temple. Rich gave Rider a 2-1 lead in the first inning with a 2-run triple, and the Bronx never trailed again. Rich's triple was a line drive that hit the center field fence at the 410-foot mark. Freshman pitcher Ken Pear earned a win, his second without a loss. Pitching 7 2/3 innings, Ryder took a 4-2 lead in the fourth inning when junior Carl Lodenthal hit an RBI triple and scored on a throwing error seen here. Bronx went up 6-2 in the sixth inning when junior Aaron Pesarisi hit an RBI triple. Temple cut the lead to 6-4 in the ninth and had the tying run at the plate when Rich robbed Matt Lafetti of an RBI double with a diving catch on the warning track. But first place Lemoyne came in this weekend and swept Ryder in a MAC Conference doubleheader on Sunday, after being rained out on Saturday. In the first game, Lemoyne scored 5 runs in the 8th inning for a come-from-behind victory. Ryder built leads of 4-0, 5-1, and 8-4, but could not hold them. Trailing 9-5, Lemoyne scored twice in the 7th inning on a 2-run home run and scored 5 in the 8th inning on 3 hits, including a grand slam and 1 Ryder error. Senior Rich Brooks and junior Aaron Pesarisi each hit 2-run home runs in the 2nd inning to give the Bronx a 4-0 lead, and senior Kevin Riley hit a 2-run homer in the 4th inning to give Ryder an 8-4 lead. It was the first of 3 home runs for Riley on the day. In the second game, a scheduled 7-inning contest, Lemoyne scored once in the bottom of the 7th to send the game into extra innings and scored 3 in the bottom of the 9th inning to win it. Ryder scored 4 runs in the 3rd inning, 3 on Riley's second home run of the day to take a 5-1 lead before Lemoyne erupted for 8 runs in the 4th inning to take a 9-5 lead. Ryder answered right back with 4 runs in the 5th inning, 3 on Brooks' second home run of the day to tie the score 9-9. And the Bronx took a 10-9 lead in the 7th inning on Riley's 5th home run of the season. The Bronx took a 12-10 lead in the 9th inning on a 2-run single by Brooks. Brooks had 4 hits and 7 RBIs in the doubleheader, while Riley had 6 RBIs. Sophomore Scott Rich had 5 hits in the doubleheader. And on Wednesday, sophomore David Dean lined a 1-out pinch hit double down the left field line, scoring sophomore Scott Rich in the 9th inning to give Ryder a 4-3 win at Rutgers on Wednesday. The win was victory number 700 for head coach Sonny Pitaro, now in his 32nd year here at Ryder. Pitaro entered the 2002 season 38th among NCAA Division I coaches in wins. Only 35 Division I coaches entered the 2002 season with 700 or more wins. And junior Carl Lodenthal walked 3 times, stole 3 bases, and scored twice to pace the Bronx offense. Junior Casey Long went 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs, including his first home run of the season for Ryder. Senior Mark Fisher, the MAC pitcher of the week last week, recorded the final out of the 8th inning to pick up his 3rd win of the season. Junior Artie McShane recorded the final out of the game to pick up his first save of the season. Now turning to women's softball, the Bronx were swept at Princeton on Tuesday. In the first game, freshman Aaron McGlynn accounted for half of Ryder's hits, going two for 2. Sophomore Amanda Tu went 1 for 2 with a run scored as the Bronx dropped a 9-1 decision. And in the second game, sophomore Brandy Weed and junior Danielle Nagel each picked up 2 hits, with Brandy Weed also hitting a double as the Bronx fell in the nightcap 5-2. The Bronx returned to action versus Delaware on April 17th. And in some exciting action, the men's lacrosse team was in action this weekend, taking on Shepherd Saturday and Rowan on Sunday. The Bronx triumphed over Shepherd with their 3rd win of the season by a score of 12-5, but fell to Rowan on Sunday by a heartbreaking loss of 9-7. And now we turn to the Masters Golf Tournament, folks. Tiger Woods won his 3rd green jacket by proving he was far more daunting than a toughened-up, redesigned Augusta National. He seized control with an early burst of birdies and watched his rivals crash in a desperate and reckless attempt to catch him. The result for Woods was another march into history, and Tiger became only the 3rd player to win back-to-back titles. Woods became the first player to repeat as Masters champion since Nick Faldo in 1990. Jack Nicklaus was the only other in 1965 and 66. And Woods' victory put him halfway to Nicklaus' marks of 6 Masters wins. He pitched up the slope to 6 feet on the 2-hole and made the birdie, then spun back to his approach to 10 feet on the 3-hole and made another birdie.
And after a birdie on number 5, only his second in 44 holes, Woods was staring at another one. He went over the green on the par 3 6th hole. Would he buckle? No chance. Woods' chip from 20 feet went straight into the cup, and he raised his wedge in mild celebration. There was no fist pump or smiles, just another methodical day of work for Tiger at the Masters. Well, exciting week in sports, you know. Weather's warm, guys, you know. Get out there. It's beautiful weather this week. Get out there, support your Bronx. You know, they need all the support they get. Go Bronx.
Go Bronx.
Go Bronx.
All right. Well, I guess that's all the time we have for this week. I'm Drew Novelli.
And I'm Rakia Henderson. Have a good day.